Hey, I am Dr. Jareka Dodd, executive editor of PharmaSis magazine. Have you seen my magazine? Well, I am so honored to have a special guest in the studio with me today. I was so excited this morning when I looked at my calendar and was reminded that PharmaSis, Dr. Jennifer Bourgeois, was going to be joining me. Hi, Dr. Jennifer. How are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Of course, of course, of course. When I met you, I remember us having conversation, and it doesn't take me long before I can usually tell within the few minutes of a conversation, one, the connection that I have with someone, and then two, if I want to invite them to be a part of the magazine. So what I remember in the time that we had when I met you and I started talking with you, like I literally just wanted to interrupt you and be like, that's okay, never mind, yes. But that would not have been polite. So I wanted to make sure to let you, share all the things that you wanted to share with me that day. But it was one of those connections. And I have been honored to watch your journey. I remember where you were when we talked about you being in the magazine, and then some time passed, and then now you have been featured in our spring 2022 issue of the magazine. So tell the audience, because there are some that are going to be joining us live, there'll be others who will see this on replay. Tell them what it was like when I first started saying, I think you should consider being in the magazine. What was going through your head?
Gosh, so many things. I remember that conversation also and was blown away by your just how authentic you were and how much I felt like you were in that conversation for me. Like I literally just felt like I was the only person that, you were talking to that day. You just made me feel so seen and heard. And I appreciated that so much. That still stands out to me. And just like you said, our connection was really strong. We're both spiritual women. We're both women in pharmacy. We both have this entrepreneurial spirit about us. And so there were just so many parallels that connected us and really made me question, like, how can I work with her more? How can I get to know her more? How can I be part of her network? And you offered and extended this feature in your incredible magazine. And first, I was humbled and just so honored that I would even be considered for that. Still very grateful for that. And I remember having this overwhelming limiting belief that I wasn't ready for this, that I wasn't worthy of this, that I it wasn't safe to shine, that it wasn't my time, that I needed to kind of hold myself back. And I know I expressed that to you that day. And I just loved your how you spoke into me about, don't, this is your time to shine. Like this, you've worked hard for this, and don't be afraid of it, and don't sell yourself short of it. And that conversation you and I had that day, it was the beginning of a probably 6-month journey at this point of me working on myself, doing inner work, really kind of bringing awareness to those limiting beliefs that have been holding me
Wait,
back.
wait. I gotta jump in here. And so Dr. Jennifer, you said that conversation brought you awareness that basically, I'm paraphrasing, there's more work to do. Talk about that a little bit more, because I think one of the things that happens when we walk across that stage and we get our degree and we are now Dr. fill in the blank with the name, that literally we just turn it off and we're like, okay, I'm done, because half the time most of us could not wait to finish school, and we turn it off and we're done. So to get to that point where you're like, you know what, I've got more work to do, and it might look different than what I've already been doing. Talk about that some.
Yeah, It is. I think it is a commonality with pharmacists because we do spend so long in school in preparation for this career that when you finally, like you said, walk across the stage, get your licensing, you turn it off. And a lot of us fall into this comfortable stagnation, and that can happen with our career, but I think it really happens with us personally.
Yeah.
And we just lose sight of that personal development piece that we all need continually forever.
Mhm.
We have the same ideology, but we never arrive at the destination. It's a constant
Right.
journey. And I know you have said
Exactly.
that same thing. And I think that for so many of us, you get that degree and you think you're at the destination. This is it. I've made it. And it's not true.
No.
And that was something that, you definitely helped me see in that conversation that day. And then as I walked away from the conversation and we continued to talk and have email exchanges and things like that, I mean, there were just so many other limiting beliefs that continued to come up for me. Remember, it was money, it was scarcity, it was, I mean, there were just so many other things, but it was that same concept of just not allowing myself to have that opportunity to shine and share my message
Right.
and just amplify, like what you're giving me, this platform to speak my message on. It was just, so yes, so just continuing to dig into that inner work. It is so, so important, and it has been one of the most pivotal pieces of my success in my business.
And I'll tell you, in my journey, the part I've had to lean into all of those things too. I remember when I started my patient consulting practice. I remember someone saying to, because I built it that with the website, there was no picture of me anywhere because I had the limiting belief that no one was going to purchase anything from a Black woman. And so I remember someone saying to me, if you're going to be in this business, you need to get out front. You need to be in front of it. And so I tell people that even with regard to the magazine, I am not the want to put my face on a magazine type person. I actually cringe at the thought of but it's been my assignment because if it were up to me, I'd want to go be a part of that wall behind your head and then just blend right in with the pattern and you wouldn't even, but I have something to share with the world. And I think for me, leaning into that first, but also leaning into the very key point you made, as there's no such thing as the destination, because when you quote unquote get there, that's the beginning of the next part of your journey.
Yes.
And so I think that in the beginning, I was so much when I became an entrepreneur, just trying to get to the destination. But now I understand that I need to skip, I need to jump, I need to run, I need to stop and smell the flowers, I need to laugh, I need to dance, I need to stop and meet the people, which is why I think relationships have become so important to me, because I have had such a rich journey to this point because I started leaning into the journey and not being so stressed about the timeline of me getting to the destination. No, I do talk about time, and I'm not for, wasting time or what have you, or all the excuses that we give ourselves. However, oh look, we've gotten some comments. Wait, I've got to show them. So look, Dr. Christina Fontana
Oh,
said hello. Hi, Dr. Christina.
hi. I love
And
her.
then somebody else will be able to see when we get back on LinkedIn. They said, yes, so true about feeling done after graduating. Someone else said, such good points. Look at us, Dr. Jen. We like got this thing. We're running this thing over here on our show. And then someone else said, hi, ladies. We'll be able to see who actually said them once we get back over to the platform. Nonetheless, I think that I have learned to lean in and enjoy it. And that means enjoying the parts that don't feel so good, the parts where my knees are shaking and my teeth are chattering, the parts where I'm like over it all, the parts where I'm like, oh my God, this is so much fun. all of the parts and not trying to weed and pick out the parts that I want to select because I'm trying to shield myself from any discomfort, but just leaning into the journey and all the parts that make it so rich that, yep, I do see a destination, but as I keep walking along this journey, the destination, it's still ahead of me. And so I love how you worded that.
Yeah, thank you. I something I teach like with my clients for wellness, because it's the same concept with that too. You're never well. It is a daily intentionality of making choices and prioritizing things to get you closer to where you want to be. So I think that's a great philosophy for life too.
Well, and like, because I think that we spent so many years like, when am I going to graduate? When that was the destination.
Mhm.
When am I going to graduate? When am I going to graduate? When am I going to graduate? And then it's, when am I going to get married? When am I going to have children? When am I going to get that job? And instead of, one, I think being grateful for the moment, two, definitely looking forward, because I don't think there's anything wrong with looking forward and planning and dreaming.
Yes.
However, not forgetting to look on the sides of you as you're walking along that journey. I think it's so, so critical. So tell me, you said it's something that you share with your clients. What 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 makes your clients need to hear that? How do they present to you where you're like, you know what? Let's talk about the journey.
Mhm. So I typically serve working moms, so high achieving women who are suffering symptoms from chronic stress. And oftentimes when I have conversations or these initial consultations with these women, they're having symptoms. So I say their check engine light is on. So they're having these things that are happening and they
Mhm.
don't specifically understand why. They may not even attribute it to disease. They may just think this is motherhood, this
Mhm.
is life as a pharmacist, right? Because we sometimes sell ourselves short and think that because we become a mom, we're supposed to be tired all the time. Because we become a mom and a working mom at that, we're supposed to have insomnia. And
Mhm.
so a lot of times these women will come and we'll start just digging into what they're feeling. And it seems that often they don't even recognize that what's happening to them is
Mhm.
rooted in stress. And unfortunately, our doctors sometimes don't ask those questions about lifestyle.
Right.
That really tells so much about why we're having these chronic conditions. And
Mhm.
so we kind of talk about why. And I ask a lot of questions that help me discover, is stress causing some of these issues?
Mhm.
And then we kind of move from there. But so many, I think, to answer your question, so many women don't understand that wellness can be part of this journey you're already on. You can continue to be a high achieving woman
Mhm.
who values career, but also wants to be a great mom and a wonderful spouse. You can have all of those priorities and still fit in this journey of wellness because
Mhm.
it really does work well alongside all these other things. And so I just help them to kind of see that picture.
And so along the lines of what we were talking about, destination versus journey, one of the other things that um, I used to think, I don't anymore, but I used to think that there was this place of balance. And I would imagine that you deal with this or address this with your clients. There's we have this perceived place of balance that we're going to get to one day.
Mhm.
However, I have now learned that balance is a constant like this. And just as soon as I lean this way, I have to go, whoop, let's go back that way.
Yes.
Because there, in my opinion, is no such thing as a balanced point that once you reach that pinnacle, you're always going to be balanced. You're never going to tip one way or the other.
Yes.
And if you like, can you talk about that? Because I would imagine that you have moms who are seeking after that destination of balance.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I think it's best described as a juggle, because you really do have to kind of keep so many balls in the air, if you will, with all of the different roles we play as women, and knowing that there's only so much room for so many balls. You think about it, even if you can throw it really high, there's only so much room. And so you have to be realistic with yourself. I think as women, we often aren't realistic with ourselves. We just push, 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 do more. And what ends up happening is that we lose ourselves. And so what typically goes first is our own well-being, because we are servant-hearted people. It's just how we're wired as women. We want to serve, we want to give, we want to provide. I think those are beautiful, beautiful assets that we have. But I think in that, when things do become in such a way that, we have all the balls in the air, now we can't do anything else. The one we drop first is ourself and our well-being. And we stop prioritizing self-care, just those moments we would take for ourselves before. We stop taking the walk. We stop preparing our food, so so it's a juggle. It's a juggle. And that's really how I like to kind of talk about it with women, is just to remind them that just to get more clarity about what's real and what's possible, and stop setting these unrealistic expectations for ourselves.
All right. So first, I'm going to say thank you so much. So the audience doesn't know this, but I don't mind telling that when you got on the line and we were warming up and making sure all our technology was going to work, I was eating breakfast. And I said to you, and now that I'm even thinking back on that, the beginning of our conversation, I probably opened the conversation with, "I'm so sorry, but I haven't eaten." And you were like, "That's fine." Like you didn't even flinch. You didn't go, "I cannot believe this woman is eating eggs and sausage on our call." But I so appreciate that. No judgment on the sausage, please. Nonetheless, no, I so appreciate that you could relate. And I'm not a mom, but like even though my morning started before the crack of dawn, that's kind of how it has been this morning. But I literally, with 20 minutes to spare before I was to get on the call with you, was like, okay, I need to change shirts. I need to eat. And so I was like, I can do, because I used to have the limiting belief of, you know what, there's just not enough time. I would tell myself that all the time. There's just not enough time, not enough time. And so I would have come to this call and you would have heard my stomach growling. And then the people would have been leaving comments about that instead of comments about you. So I was like, I'm going to get this cooked. I'm going to change shirts. And as we warm up and kind of vibe in preparation to go live, I'm going to eat, because why wouldn't I? That's important. I need to make time. And granted, obviously we could definitely talk about, that in more depth, but I can tell you that there was a time when I wouldn't have even done that. I just would have gone for the whole day, not had anything. So thank you for your grace. And I'm so glad that you are the person that I was interviewing today, because yeah, that meant a lot to me.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So let's talk about marketing. Marketing. We touched a little bit on it in the beginning, but let's talk about marketing, because I know you and I, when we first started talking on, today, we were talking about, because we're both pharmacists and we know how pharmacists think. We know that we were not taught to market or to sell anything. And we surely, in our healthcare system as it is, we were not taught to share our story, to share our experiences. I think I said before, we were taught to talk to patients and to other physicians, other healthcare practitioners. But I think that when it comes to building the type of relationships where you get on the phone or you have coffee with someone and you meet them and you just talk. And then you may not talk for a while, but you can call them up. But we talked about that. You could call them up at any time and go, hey, I need your help. Can you? And they're like, yeah, let's. Like, you have to build relationships. And I think that that's, one of the key things that pharmacists can do is building relationships. And I heard you allude to the relationships you've built even in your journey. So talk to us a little bit more about that, because I feel that gives you a natural way to market yourself versus all the cold called emails that or messages that I get in LinkedIn every day.
Yes, that's so true. I, we're aligned in this too. We're people, you and I, just that. I think that that's a gift for some of us that we have, that we're able to really connect with people in that authentic way and they feel it. I think that's
Mhm.
a little empathy, I think, is part of that.
Mhm.
But so I think the best thing that I have found is referrals. And just once I have an interaction with a client, whether that be that initial consultation where we talk and maybe they decide that this isn't a good fit, or maybe they decide, yes, let's go forward. I want to pursue testing. I want to have more coaching in different areas. Whether either interaction, I
Yeah.
always make sure that I show up for them, that I, treat them how I would want to be treated: love, kindness, compassion,
Yes.
and really care about them. I think that goes such a long way for people. I have so far built my business on referrals because, it's about know, like, and trust. It's about
Mhm.
people getting to a place where, yes, they know you, but they trust you to take care of them. And
Right.
pharmacists are the most trusted professionals. That's kind of
Yeah.
what they say about us, and
Mhm.
I think that is true. And I think a lot of it is because we're consistent. We're always there for them. We answer questions. We care about them. And they
Mhm.
feel that. And so I do the same kind of that same work ethic with my personal wellness business. And yeah, referral has been key, and even networking with other professionals, whether
Yeah.
that be other people in the wellness space, or just like you, other
Mhm.
women who I've connected with where we hit it off. And just you connected me to several different people that I've met and had just great relationships with. And so I think that networking is key, building relationships, just being true to who you are so people know who you are and they know what to expect.
Yeah.
And you'll attract those people that are
Yeah.
looking for you.
Yes. And tell me, when you think of marketing yourself after the fact, after the business has launched, after you've done some more work with the limiting beliefs, talk to me about marketing, because I know one of the things that I share with people is that we, as pharmacists and in the pharmacy space, we're really big on fulfillment.
Yes.
Fulfillment. I'm going to fulfill because it's what we were trained to do. And there's no negativity about that, but it's what we were trained to do. We were trained to fulfill. And so this whole market yourself and the fact that you are the brand, if you will,
Mhm.
because I remember when I started, I was hiding behind a logo and I was like, "Ooh, over there, that logo, see that green, that blue." And I spent like all this time getting it perfect. And then lo and behold, I don't even use the logo anymore. It's definitely still there. I still have it, but I am the brand. And
Mhm.
so I say to people that whether people know the name of your business is really irrelevant. The fact that they know you is
Mhm.
more important. They know who you are. How do you feel about marketing yourself now?
Very much more comfortable. I'm more empowered. I have moved on from the limiting beliefs. They're still there, and I still work through them. Dr. Christina, who
Hmm.
I
Yes.
to, I actually work with her as a mentor just to help me with some of those things. And so I continue to better myself there and work on those things. But awareness is key. I think just
Yes.
recognizing it, bringing attention to it, and just learning more about myself and why that's happening, why that's coming up. But yeah, I'm really excited about this next chapter. I'm in a place where I feel, worthy of this next step, and just ready for to kind of step bigger, take that bigger leap into entrepreneurship. Definitely much more confident than I was on our initial conversation.
I remember when you sent me your pictures that were to be used in the magazine, and we did something different a little time this time, in that we have in our social media promotion of the women in the magazine, we've used different pictures. We used to just use that one picture, but I'm like, no, no, we got to go back. Let's go get, because everybody has such great shots that I want more than one of them to be, seen. And so I remember when I opened the file when you sent me your pictures and I saw the hat, I was like, yes, because your pictures show the essence of how you describe yourself now. Like, you seemed like a woman who happened to be a pharmacist, who also happened to be an entrepreneur, who also happened to be a mom, but you just showed up in I love the hat picture. So don't be surprised if you see that somewhere else in a couple of years. You're like, she is still using my picture. But I love, love, love the hat picture. I love all of the pictures, but the hat picture to me, because not everybody goes and throws on a hat. Like, I think you have to have a certain personality to, wear a hat, because I think you get more attention. It's part of your look, if you will. And so I said, oh, this is definitely Texas showing up all in the building with her hat on. And you just embodied a woman who, see, I told you I was going to surprise you. You didn't know I was going to say that. You embodied a woman who had reached a point in her journey where she was confident, she was proud to be where she was. She wasn't lamenting the battle scars and all the things that went into making her who she showed up to be in that picture. So if you haven't seen Dr. Jennifer's picture, then you've got to go check out the PharmaSis page on LinkedIn. PharmaSis Magazine has a page on LinkedIn. We also have a page on Instagram, and we also have an account on Instagram, and we also have a page on Facebook. So you can see Dr. Jennifer in all her splendor, and the hat picture is what you want to look for. So let me ask you this, because I knew we could talk. I knew I knew that we would have no problem filling time and just having a conversation. Tell us what's next for your business.
What's next? So I am actually going to launch my 3-month program, and that will happen in the end of August. So I'm really, really excited about that. It has been, I've just really poured my heart and soul into it. It's the Stressed Mom Transformation Program. So much about what I've learned from an educational perspective with, degrees and certifications. But I think what I'm most proud of is it's really me handpicking all the things that have helped me transform myself from the stressed mom, the one who did not prioritize myself, the one whose check engine light was always on. I was on fumes. It's all the things that have been instrumental in my transformation to now being able to show up with vibrancy, with, just this feeling good, but also just being more confident about where I am in life. So it's so much fun. It's just a lot of soul care, of course, all the normal stuff, diet and exercise, but I'm really, really excited about that. So that is
great. We are excited for you. I am so excited to have had a little bitty seat on the sideline of your journey and watch you from that first conversation to even, present day. Let me ask you, because I know that people are going to look at you and they're going to be like, okay, that lady was really talking about something. I want to connect with her. How can people follow up? Because I know that they're going to be playing. There's somebody who's still hanging in there, who's still watching us at 29 minutes, Dr. Jen. So people are going to see, and they're going to want to know, how can I get in touch with Dr. Jen? So what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
I am most active on Instagram, and my handle there is Dr. Jen, Jen, and then my last name. But if you just type in Dr. Jen B, it'll pull me up. So Dr. Jen Bourgeois on Instagram. I'd love to connect.
You heard her. She said, check her out on Instagram. You can send her all the private messages you want. Ask her, tell me about what you're doing. Get in touch with her, connect with her. One of the things that I encourage people to do is not wait until there's a need, not wait until, but just get to know people for the sake of getting to know them. And as I have had the opportunity to profile and share features of so many women in pharmacy, I am like, I say what I say with confidence that we are bold, we are beautiful, and we are brilliant. And so pharmacists, and I know I'm biased, but pharmacists are brilliant people. Like, you want to know them. You need to have a couple of pharmacists in your contact list. Nonetheless, if I can, before we get out of here, I would be remiss if I did not share that the Women in Pharmacy Nothing Held Back event is taking place, and it is going to be so much fun. The post that I put up this morning said, "This is so much fun," because I wanted to convey that while this has definitely been a learning experience for me, it has been a lot of fun in just meeting the sponsors. And I'm so looking forward to taking women who in pharmacy who are right there on that edge, who are like, I know I'm made for more, but if I could just figure out how, or the ones who have the limiting beliefs and they're like, I'm not really sure. The ones who are apologizing for it's been past time to leave their jobs. The ones who are like, well, it really is a good company. And I'm like, yeah, but you hate it. I'm sure it is a good company, but it's time to go. Like the ones who are like, I don't even know what I want to do. The ones who, because one of the things I say is that we did not learn how to make money in pharmacy. And so I'm convinced that if pharmacists knew more about how to make money, they would be leaving their jobs that they hate in record numbers, because that's why they stay, because I don't know how. Well, those are the women and a few good men. So it's Women in Pharmacy, Nothing Held Back. And there's a little asterisk that says a few good men. So we definitely, welcome anyone who that description is for. And you don't even have to be in pharmacy. If somebody should happen to see this and they're not in pharmacy, you don't have to be in pharmacy to attend. But I'm going to be teaching for 3 days because, number one, I think you have got to get your mindset in order before you head down this journey of furthering your career or building a business. Two, I'm going to talk about how to use what you have, which a lot of times people look around and they're like, I don't have anything. How to use what you have to start making money. Because many times I have pharmacists who come to me, they haven't been able to find a job, what have you. And I'm like, okay, let's use what you've got. And they're amazed when they're like, use what I've got. And then that third day, I'm going to be talking marketing, which how I feel about marketing, because we didn't learn to do that. And it's so important, especially because everybody has a PharmD, everybody has a residency, everybody has a long string of alphabets behind their name. You need to know how to market. And so those are the things that I'm going to be teaching. And so it's been scrolling on the screen here at the bottom, the website. I want to make sure that anyone who hears this or sees this video knows that you are welcome. I have had the joy of having sponsors put in gifts. Like, I've been looking for things that I know people will enjoy receiving, to even show them, one, practical things that they can use for themselves, but then also practical ways that even if they're in practice, they in their own practice, or if they are have an independent pharmacy, ways that they can generate revenue for themselves. So that's one of my whole approaches in this circumstance, is to make sure that people know ways that they can make money. So with that, I just wanted to make sure that I shared that, because I would be remiss if I did that. PharmaSis Magazine is definitely, like I said, we're on social media, and I would encourage you to go to the website, PharmaSis mag.com, or you can go to Amazon and you can get the latest issue. So, with that, Dr. Jen, thank you so much for taking the time to come and share your journey. I love, love, love talking to you. We're gonna have to do this again because I love to do segments where we go and go, where are they now? And then we get to peek in and go, well, when we saw her, she was doing this. She was launching her 3-month course. Now what's she doing? Where is she now? So we will definitely have to make sure that we do that with you, because I think that women in pharmacy need to be watching other women in pharmacy to be inspired, to know that they can do it too.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
You are so welcome.
You are a gift to all of us to go first, and to just build what you've built. And now you're using it to amplify other voices and share messages that are important to so many. I just grateful for you. I know I speak on behalf of a lot of people. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. And thank you for becoming one of the PharmaSis, like once a pharmacist, always a pharmacist. And so I really appreciate you. And I'm so grateful that we got the opportunity not only to work together and do business together, but also to develop a friendship. So thank you for that. And we'll be keeping tabs on you so we can see how you're doing. And don't ever hesitate to reach out and come back at any time. All right, I think she's done. With that, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And I am really excited to interview the ladies here on this platform. So be sure to check in the next time we have an interview so you can see what's going on with the ladies of PharmaSis magazine. If you have any questions or want to know, how can I be featured in the magazine? How can I put an ad in the magazine? Can I write a story for the magazine? Or just how can I purchase it? Don't hesitate to reach out. You can find me on LinkedIn. Okay, take care. Bye.